brighter than it was last time.
Well, Sean, congratulations on the victory. What are your initial thoughts after a violent stoppage like that?
I'm thrilled. I'm happy with it. I'm normally real critical of my performances, but and I'm sure when I watch it back, I'll find stuff to critique. But I'm super happy with it. First round finish. It don't get better than that.
And was this your first stoppage win in the UFC?
Yeah. So I got in the UFC with a finish on Contender Series, but yeah, as far as official UFC fights, yeah, this is my first finish.
And speaking of just the fight itself, were you surprised he didn't shoot for a takedown earlier in there?
Yeah, I was super surprised. You know, he has a wrestling base, and knowing how my striking is, yeah, I thought he was going to be shooting first 15, 20 seconds. So, yeah, credit to him for sure. But, yeah, I was surprised.
And it's not often that you face someone where you're kind of the UFC vet in there. It seemed like from watching the broadcast, he came out pretty hot, like guns blazing right away, and then he kind of just maybe the adrenaline dump just kicked in on him or something like that. Did you feel that? Like he just came out hot right away? Yeah,
but that's his MO, though. That's his style. If you watch all his fights, he's a pressure fighter. He comes out, hot like that all the time. And yeah, that's kind of, I was going back to about the takedowns. That's what I was expecting real early, so that's why I kind of started off real relaxed and slow. I was ready to defend the takedown and start digging those underhooks and fight the takedown. And yeah, he didn't do it, but yeah, that's crazy. You called me a UFC vet. That sounds so cool. But yeah, he definitely came out hot but slowed down right away.
And you obviously put him away with the body shots. I think that was like the culmination of a beatdown. Was there like a moment in there that you just knew you connect and you're like, oh, this is a wrap, like real soon?
Yeah, the first teep kick, I hit him right in the solar plex, and he kind of like winced a little bit, and I just heard him made a little bit a noise that let me know that didn't feel too good. So yeah, right away I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get him with body shots.
Is that when you pointed at him?
No, that was later on. My team showed me a clip of where I point. I don't even remember doing that. Like I was in another. I don't even know. I'll be in another zone, man. I don't remember doing it, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then the broadcast, pretty much the whole fight, they're like, oh, Sean Woodson's boxing this, boxing that, boxing that. Are you at some point like you want to show the rest of your game in there? They just keep giving you guys that you can put away with your boxing.
Yeah, like it would sound silly for me to be like, I want to, go to the ground because I don't. I want to stand up and, get these first round finishes, with my hands. But yeah, it'll come. I'll definitely be able to show my ground game because, I work on it religiously day in and day out. And yeah, the first time a guy does get me to the ground and we're, forced to do those transitions and actually grapple, I think I will surprise a lot of people.
Well, as a UFC vet, do you have anyone in mind you want for your next opponent?
Man, not so. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys seen. I called out on Instagram. I'd like to fight, Melsick, Josh Kulabau. I called him out, but I don't think he wants that fight. I'm trying to think who else, man. There's a tons of fights. I'm always down for that Julian rematch. Stephen Ocho Peterson, Austin Lingo. I was scheduled to fight Jonathan Pierce. I injured myself. We could do that again. I'm down to fight anybody, man.
You mentioned in your right after the fight that you really wanted that bonus, that it could change your life. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, it would just change my life and change my family's life. I mean, I don't know how to really elaborate on that. That's a lot of money, and I don't have nowhere near that much money. So yeah, that amount of money would do a lot for me and my family, and yeah, it'd be the most money me or my family have ever had. So yeah, that would do so much for me.
And you mentioned this was your first finish in the UFC. Were you looking for that? Were you looking to show what you could do?
Yeah, I don't want to be labeled as a decision fighter or boring fighter. My last fight, I'm a fan. I'm a fight fan before anything, and that fight was boring. And I don't want to be in boring fights and be known for that. So yeah, it was crucial. It was so important to me to come out here and get that finish. I was gonna lay it all on the line, take risks, and do everything I had to do to get that finish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So following your answer, everyone remembers I'm here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Somebody talking, I can't see him. Okay, sorry.
So everybody remembers your last knockout of Terrence McKinney with your flying knee. So you mentioned that you like finish. So does that mean every time you step in the octagon, you feel the expectation or pressure to deliver that finish every single time?
Being in the UFC and being a UFC fighter and knowing what the UFC wants and looks for, yeah, I feel pressure to get the finish. I feel like every fighter should. That's what they want. That's what the UFC wants. That's what the fans want. So yeah, I definitely feel pressure to get that finish every time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more. Terrence has a lot of buzz right now. You know, he has that great backstory. He got that, like 6-second, 7-second knockout win. And is that a fight that you would be interested in running back to if they approached you? Even though you do have, because a lot of fighters say, how do I top that last performance over that? But he does have kind of a lot of buzz that you could probably steal that hype from, right?
Yeah, I mean, one, that's a different division. He fights at 55, and I'm a 45er. And, those guys at 55 are big as hell. I don't see myself. Maybe later on, if I, well, not fighting Terrence, but maybe I would move up to 55 later on. But no, that's not even a fight I would, look for again. We already did that. It went my way. And since then, me and him have talked a lot on Instagram. We talk often. He shows me, we show each other a lot of love. We're pretty, we're pretty cool now. So yeah, no, I wouldn't even be interested in that.
Have you ever finished a guy off to the body like that with shots like that? And do you feel as a boxer that that's one of the areas that's just fighters don't go at that enough?
Yes, 100%. In MMA, body shots are very, I don't know what the word is, like underestimated or just not sought after as much. In boxing, guys go to body all the time, and that's where I started off in boxing. My amateur boxing days, yeah, I would, I would go to the body a lot. But yeah, that's my first finish with body shots in MMA for sure. But yeah.
And when you started, before you finished him off, could you key in? Did you see that his face, he started reacting to those shots, and did immediately that just tell you just keep working at that, just keep going back at it, and that you would finish him with it?
Yeah, when I heard him to the body early, he was tucking them elbows down whenever I started throwing kicks there, and I was like, okay, he's really guarding that body. So I started going upstairs, landing some good shots to the head, and then he switched and started really protecting his head, and that's when I was like, time to go back downstairs, and that's when them kill shots came.
Yeah, super impressive. Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
So what do you say when Max declares himself the best boxer in the UFC? Only because he's at the top of the card right now.
Yeah, I got that question earlier. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I'm not going to hold my tongue about it. I know it's crazy because he's, former champion, but I do disagree. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'll beat him. I'm not going to say that for a second. But something I'm really confident in saying is he wouldn't do me like he's done everybody else. He wouldn't do me like that. No, for sure. That it?